If there is one thing I do not like in World of Tanks, this is balancing tanks with bad gun handling, with horrible accuracy, aiming time, maybe even like DPM, you know. Let's say you get super heavy armor, or you get fast mobility, something like that, and it is balanced with absolutely atrocious gun handling. And this seems to be the case for many tanks what they have lately released. Let's take a couple examples. K2, you know, tier 8 Soviet premium heavy tank K2, absolutely awful gun handling, but armor for some matchmakings is impenetrable. Of course, you know, once people tap the 2 cure, tier 9, tier 10 tanks can penetrate it, yeah, but tier 6, 7, 8 struggle a lot against K2, while K2 struggles a lot to deal damage, especially from medium to longer ranges, because this gun is just a massive turd. Vipera, tier 8 premium Italian tank destroyer, comes into the game with very, very good frontal hull armor, hull down capabilities and so on, but I simply cannot play the vehicle because the gun handling is just so freaking trash. D54 heavy, new tier 9 premium heavy tank, guys. What, by the way, what are they balancing actually on D54 heavy tank with that atrocious gun handling? Like, it has weak spots, it has a low DPM. What are they actually balancing on D54? That's the good question, guys. Anyway, why am I talking about all of this over here right now is I had exactly the same impressions about Object 777 version 2 when it first came out. When it first came out over 3 years ago as a Battle Pass reward vehicle, of course, because it was a new tank, I played with it, but oh boy, I did not enjoy this tank at all. I don't know why, it just didn't click on me, even though the armor can be very troll. So it has, honestly, quite a troll armor over here on this vehicle, especially if you side scrape the side, you know, it is very low profile, the tank as well, which for a heavy tank is kind of a unique feature. It is good and bad, you know, it is bad because it limits your place in some certain positions on some maps, because you cannot see over the rubble, or you cannot see over the hull down position, so you cannot use that, what you would be able to use in phase 1, for example, or in most of the other tier 9 heavy tanks, right? But at the same time it helps you to get some bounces, for example. And over here I was actually going up the hill and willingly taking the shot from East 25, because I simply wanted to be over here. I want to get rid of this guy, and I knew once I'm able to get up over here, this guy is going to struggle quite a bit to penetrate me. After that first shot I actually gave the guy, but this just proved my point over here. Low profile tank and hard to hit sometimes. You have to still hit exactly in the hull. That guy did hit just under the hull into the tracks for no penetration, and T75 has been taken out. Now, I didn't touch this tank basically at all for 3 years after it was first released. There was one episode I made about this 1.5 years ago, 1 year ago, where I played a couple battles, and that's basically it. Until a couple weeks ago, when I decided to dive more deeply into all the Battle Pass tanks, free marking them, and you know, when you are playing free for third marks, you learn the tank a lot, because you play quite a few battles with the tanks in a row, and focus on the tanks, focus on the strengths and weaknesses, trying to maximize it, you know, like one strength, the alpha damage 440, hitting 469, or, you know, a phase 1 just before the phase 1 actually got the maximum roll into me, because phase 1 has 400 alpha and maximum roll is 500. And after third marks, or after the third marking sessions, this tank actually really started growing on me. Like, honestly started growing on me. Yes, the gun handling can still be absolutely infuriating. Like, there were battles. I remember one specific battle where I fired 21 shots, guys. 21 shots, right? And 3 of 10 penetrated. 3 penetrations out of 21 shots. Battle like that, just stays in your mind. It just saves in your memory by itself already because of how crazy it was. And by the way, our ally BZ-176 crashed, so congratulations for that. Thank you for making this battle harder. Or maybe thank you for giving me more damage to get in this, right? But the gun, yeah, it can still be very, very infuriating. It has under 2000 base DPM as well. DPM is not the best, but the penetrations, standard AP penetration 258 is good in many situations besides hull down or super heavily armored tanks. And if you lack penetration, dabbing the 2 key gives you the whopping 340 heat in tier 9. So it has extremely good heat penetration as well, but accuracy 0.40, aiming time 2.78 seconds, all those things. Dispersion is not the best, so stabilizer is needed. And this is how I was playing this tank as well, with improved hardening, stabilizer and rammer. No turbo, which I like to use on tanks which have average mobility, but improved hardening in this case on this vehicle I would say goes quite a long way, and this boosts your hit points over 2000 as well, 2060 what I can see, but this is not the max HP this tank can get because this was my second battle after I got back into this vehicle, so basically I didn't have any field modifications on 777 yet, so the full potential has not been released. But why is it growing on me? I honestly actually didn't understand exactly why. It simply kept performing. There are, as I said, a lot of tanks which are balanced weirdly. You get good armor, but atrocious gun handling. I guess why I did not mind this gun that much anymore is because I have just played with so many worse gun handling tanks than this. Talking about the tanks which I mentioned before, the Vipera, K2, D54, all those things, which gun handling is even worse. Or the VZ-114, guys. Yes, VZ-114, when it eventually ends fully aiming in, yeah, VZ-114 is hitting as well, but the aim time DPM of VZ-114 is just, oof. This is just from its own league. And as I said, playing with all the other tanks, which has even worse gun handling, and then jumping into 777, it suddenly didn't feel that bad anymore, guys. It actually didn't feel that bad anymore, so I started questioning myself, like, did I rate this tank too harshly for myself before? And yeah, like, it has actually received a couple extra points to its performance after I focused on this tank and after I played more battles. It is, in my opinion, guys, once again, it is not getting close to the Phase 1. Phase 1 is still superior compared to 777, so definitely the best heavy tank. Like, if you do not have any Battle Pass tanks right now and you want to pick up your first Battle Pass heavy tank, definitely go for Phase 1. And I'm going to make special Battle Pass video for you soon as well, guys, so stay tuned for that, because the Battle Pass season is over at the end of May, or ends at the end of May, and I guess many of you are interested about which tanks are good in my opinion. If you want to see that, let me know in the comment section down below or hitting the like button. But where would I put the 777 now? It is not in the top 3, top 3 of course, Char Futur, Phase 1, Cobra, I would say those tanks are top 3, but this might be like my 4th favorite actually, or it's like on the par with the BZ-58-2, because BZ-58-2's gun handling and like how much easier it is to play because of the gun depression and so on in so many other positions is more convenient. But when I jumped into Object, I was looking for some brawling action, and it was actually quite successful in it. So I guess this is what I enjoyed about 777 the most. Again, when I was marking it, I had all bounty equipments over here, bounty hardening, stabilizer, and rammer. But if you use the standard ones over here, the difference is actually very, very tiny. So overall, it is the same tank, right? And also, what I do not use basically on any other vehicle, or on very few tanks, let's say, is gearbox intricacy. I guess doubles the effect of the smooth right perk, which helps destabilization extra. This is of course 10k per pop, but on this tank it's kind of worth it, especially if you're chasing base tankers or third mark, for example, right? So with food and crew from IS-7, because this is a reward tank, you can use your Soviet heavy tank crew members over here. You can see that aiming time still pretty bad, 2.73, accuracy still pretty bad, 0.37, DPM 2400, 2100 hit points with maxed out field modes, and view range almost 445. So yeah, it doesn't have max view range, but I feel like having this equipment unit worked the best for me at least. And when talking about field modes, over here, terrain resistance, accuracy, I took view range, and over here I actually didn't pick anything. Yes, I would like to get aiming speed, but I do not want to lose top speed. I want to, if I would pick TES, yes, I want to have top speed, but I do not want to lose extra mobility or extra gun handling with the turret traverse or the aiming speed. So I simply decided not to pick anything right over here, and I picked firepower as the secondary equipment boosting slot right over here. And this is object 777. And by the way, looking at the 3D armor profile as well, let's go over here. Object 777, and talking about the trollish armor, you can see, when you're side scraping with this, and when you are like trying to wiggle, this is not an easy penetration for the tier 8s. So this tank is absolutely ruthless versus tier 8s, because even the lower plate is pretty hard to penetrate, and if you give them the over-angling side, they try to hit that, they try to shoot that, but you can see that you need quite a lot of penetration for that. Yes, this is showing against 258, but many tier 8s do not have that, for example, or many tier 9s even do not have that, for example. So wiggling your tank all the time like this may make them aim into the lower plate under angle like that, then they bounce off, or if you see them aiming to your side, you aim back like this. Just working with your armor a bit, you can definitely get some bounces. And when this is completely hull down, the next to the turret or next to the gun mantlet, here is the weakest spots, or the tiny commander hatches. So yes, it has commander hatch weak spots, but those are pretty tiny and quite a big baits many times. So overall armor profile right for you over here. What do you think about that yourself, guys? Where would you put this vehicle compared to all the other Battle Pass tanks? 4th place, 5th place, 3rd place, 2nd place? Maybe this is your favorite tank? Let me know in the comment section down below. How do you feel about this vehicle yourself? I, as I said, increased my ratings for this tank a little bit, but the gun is still quite trashy, the gun is still quite derpy, so if you can handle derpy guns which has something to back it up with, then maybe you can give it another shot, but it shouldn't be, definitely shouldn't be your first tank from the Battle Pass. Like Phase 1 is just, once again, so much more superior, and I'm going to make a Phase 1 episode on the channel very soon, so stay tuned for that. But what is your take on 777? Let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm done. Have a good one. Appreciate you for watching, and see you next time. Stay sexy.